Got it.
Hello and welcome to the NZ Ahead podcast. I'm Liz.
And I'm Brian.
And this week we're going to be interviewing a Kiwi and her wife who moved back to New Zealand from England.
Yeah.
I'm really excited.
Yes.
I'm excited because I always love the stories of Kiwis who return back to New Zealand because I'm just always dying to know, was it what you thought it was going to be?
Yeah, exactly.
And I tell you what, it
why
isn't.
have you come back?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So we first met Marta and Nic. Actually, this is the first time meeting Nic, but I'd chatted with Marta because Marta is from Poland and she reached out to me. She joined our private NZ Ahead community when she was already living in New Zealand, which, to be honest, is a real, that's a real a compliment to our community that someone would join because they've heard how friendly it is and all these people getting together and becoming part of groups and things like that. And she felt a little bit lost and lonely. And she reached out and said, look, I've joined your community because I want to make friends. Sorry, go on.
No, because like you say, it's unusual because I know we do talk about this on the podcast, but you don't imagine a Kiwi coming home and then a partner being lonely. You think they would just all get in with the friends, don't you, and stuff like that. And I think
know.
that's what's the beauty of this, like you say, of the community is bringing people together.
Yeah,
and not feeling so lonely.
And the reason I'm going to interrupt you because you interrupted me, so now I'm going to interrupt you.
Okay.
But the reason
That's what we do.
The reason you're going to absolutely love Marta and Nic is because she is just so open. She wears her heart on her sleeve. Like I say, she reached out to me and we became friends. I gave her a call and anyway, she's just the loveliest person. And I don't know if it's because she's from Poland and, I don't know if a British person would do that. I don't know if I would have the nerve or the courage to call, to just say out loud, I'm lonely. And I think that takes an awful lot of courage. And she's just beautiful. She is so beautiful. They both are. And you're going to absolutely love this interview because, like I say, we hear all about Nic coming back as a Kiwi and what it was like for her. But just wait till you hear Marta talk about how she's feeling. It's just... It touches your heart. It really does.
It does. And if you want to jump into our community, head on over to nzahead.com. That's www.nzahead.com/free. Take the free 5-day video guide and you'll get a chance to join our community. I like community and get to chat with Marta and Nic on the chat.
You will. As well as Brian. I mean, you could chat to Brian on the chat if you could get a word in edgeways, that is.
Yes, if I don't interrupt, because I never get a chance to speak. I am actually on this interview. Mm-hmm. That's why I'm here. I think it's time to jump on in.
Okay, let's jump on in and meet Marta and Nic.
Got it.
Welcome to the NZ Ahead podcast. Everything you need to know about moving to and living in New Zealand.
There's a whole world here.
So nice to be with you again.
We call it Aotearoa around here, bro.
You'll be right.
We are your hosts, Liz and Brian.
Amazing New Zealand in the southern seas.
See, that's where I belong. That's home.
Marta and Nic, welcome to the podcast. I'm so thrilled to have you with us today.
Yes, we are thrilled as well. Yeah.
So who are you? And just tell us a bit about yourself. Let's start with how you met, because I know Nic is Kiwi and Marta is from Poland. So can you just take us back and tell us how you met? And then we're going to end up with how you came to New Zealand.
20 years ago in June, actually, next year. So 19 and a half years ago, we both worked in a pub in London, and I think we were both the worst barmaids you could ever possibly find. And I was working there. I'd been in New Zealand in the UK, for just on a year. And I was working there in the evenings and teaching during the day because I was broke. And I spotted Marta. She was working there, and I guess the rest is history, isn't it?
Yeah, and I just arrived to London just for a few months before I was supposed to go back to my studies in Poland, and never went back.
And never went back to Poland.
Nah.
Nic, you moved to New Zealand. Sorry, you moved to London. Was it just like an OE thing that you did, and then you just got work in London, or?
Yeah, it was an OE. I had a one-way ticket and I knew I was going to stay there for a while, but I didn't plan on it being 20 years. And yeah, I was just teaching over there. I did my teacher training here, and I did two and a bit years teaching in New Zealand, and then left and started teaching over there.
What do you teach?
Primary school.
Primary school. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
And
here's another thing. I've never heard of a Kiwi working in a bar in London. It's
up.
never been heard of.
Never.
Never.
And Marta, so you left Poland and you just came for an adventure to London and got a job at a bar. Is that right?
Yeah, I just had a few months and I thought, actually, what can I do? And I was thinking, I've never spent a long time in London, so why not? And I did had my way back ticket, which I wasted. Yeah, and I just met Nic and never came back.
Okay. Yeah. I should have said at the beginning that I met you two. I met Marta first, actually. She reached out and she was saying about how she'd moved back to New Zealand with you, Nic, and you were a Kiwi, and she's just here. And 2 years later, she feels a little bit lonely, like she's not settling properly. And that really stuck out to me, because the first thing you think when you think that you are, sorry, are you two married? You're not married, you're partners. So you engaged forever, right? I love a long engagement. There's nothing better, is there, eh? When you move back with your partner, and the first thing I thought was, if she's a Kiwi, then you're going to just feel right at home here. But this is the story we want to get to, is you're moving back to New Zealand and just the whole, what that entailed and what that looked like for you. You're in London together. You're working as a teacher, a couple of rubbish barmaids. Why move to New Zealand? Why did you not just stay in London?
So we knew before COVID hit that we've done our time in London, especially me. I was working in central London. I had to commute. There is expiry date on London. It's good in a certain age, when you're 20, early 30s, but then it drains you down and wears you down. So we felt both that we want to change. And we were looking at the places middle way between New Zealand and Poland. So we both had the same time to fly and go back home. And we were thinking about different places. Nic even did apply for some jobs in Dubai or Thailand. And then COVID hit. And one day I was just sitting in the morning, meditating, and I just got answer New Zealand. I still remember that vividly. I just saw a nice bush with a waterfalls. I don't know, maybe it was McLaren's waterfalls. And the answer was New Zealand. And that was in the morning. And in the afternoon, and I clearly remember we drove to our local supermarket, and it was pouring rain. It was a horrible day. It was just raining, grey, just horrible. And we pulled to take our shopping back home. And I said, wait, Nic, I've got something to tell you. And I said, it's time to go home. And let's move to New Zealand.
Oh.
I don't remember that.
Oh, that makes me cry. And what did she say when you said that?
I think you said, yeah, that sounds...
It was nice that it came from Marta. There wasn't that expectation of, I'm from New Zealand and I want us to go back home. It took that pressure off me having to have it all perfect, because it was my suggestion. So that was really nice that it didn't come from me. It was your suggestion.
And yeah, and I don't have that, I moved because Nic wanted. I felt it's a right decision to make. Yeah.
Had you been to New Zealand before?
I've been 3 times.
3 times.
For a couple of weeks.
Can I ask Marta, did Nic ever give you the impression that she wanted to move back to New Zealand? Was she ever one of these people that was like, oh, back home it happens like this, and back home it happens like that? And then was it ever like that?
absolutely not.
Right.
And we both knew that we want to end up in New Zealand, but it was more towards retirement age. That would be perfect place to retire. But it's so far away. It's literally end of the world. So that was my impression, that we will move somewhere else, middle way, and then slowly move to New Zealand once we grey and old.
I love this.
Bit like me, eh?
I love this. Nic, when you were living in London, did you ever think, even though you said nothing to Marta, were you ever thinking deep down, I wish I was back in New Zealand? Or was it just somewhere like in the distance, like Marta said, maybe retirement age?
I did get homesick occasionally, but it was in the back of my mind. There wasn't ever that drive to go back. Yeah.
And all your family are back are here in New Zealand, I take it? Or did they?
I've got one brother in the UK, in London, but the rest of my family are here, yeah.
Okay. So what happens then when you say, okay, we're going to move back to New Zealand? What happened? How did you make that happen?
It was when the UK, New Zealand was in lockdown. So we went into some of those virtual waiting rooms. We were like I don't even remember, 6,000 on the list and 12,000 on the list. It was just horrific. And all those posts of people being locked out for various reasons. And it was really sad. So we half-heartedly tried with those virtual waiting rooms, but we knew it was going to be impossible. And I remember watching Jacinda on the news, somehow streaming it, and just watching those conferences, hoping that they would open the borders. And that delayed everything, because we just had to wait till the borders were open before we could start the whole process. But it was that was tough, knowing that you couldn't get home. And I lost my mum during that time, and I just couldn't get into New Zealand for love nor money. It was just a crazy time, eh?
And then even if you would go through, you have to stay in a hotel for 2 weeks. And all those stories. Nic joined that group, and just people just horrified. It was just, that was cruel, actually.
Yes.
Yeah, 100%.
I cannot imagine what you went through, losing your mum and not being able to get home to spend time. And I had made the decision, because you could apply through special circumstances, and I made the decision, I think, on the Sunday, and then we lost her on the Tuesday. So if I'd gone, I would have been locked in a hotel and missed the whole thing anyway, because you had to do 10 days or something. Yeah.
So actually that worked out better. It would have been worse being stuck in a hotel room by myself, waiting 10 days. And that's not just my story. There's a lot of stories of people in similar situations during that time. And I think it was tough for the 1 million Kiwis that weren't in New Zealand, that couldn't get in, whereas everyone in New Zealand felt safe, and this is a great thing. But there was a lot of people locked out.
So what year did you get to New Zealand? When did you arrive?
So we made a decision. We are going to be one of the first people who are going to buy a plane ticket as soon as we find out that the borders are open. And this is what we've done. So we landed in New Zealand in October 2022. So the whole process between making decision and getting to New Zealand, 2 years.
2 years. Okay. So what was life like? Whereabouts in London did you live?
Central London, Forest Hill.
Okay, so you're smack bang in the middle of London. I would imagine you've got a busy social life, lots of friends.
We introverts. We introverts.
Are you?
So comfortable amount of friends. Comfortable.
So you're both teachers and you worked in a bar, but you're introverts.
No, Marta's not a teacher.
Oh, I thought you were.
I'm not a teacher.
No, no. Marta was working for Costa Cafe Nero?
Cafe Nero, yes, as an area manager in central London.
Okay, so I'm just getting a picture of you two now. You're living in London. Did you have any pets?
Yeah, Yeah, and we brought her with us.
Oh.
Cat or dog?
It's our cat.
I knew it. I knew you were going to have a cat. I just knew you were cat people. I can just see
Yeah.
that in my mind.
So
Right.
that was a massive decision, like umming and ahhing. It was very expensive. Do we take her? Do we? Don't we? And we were like, nah, it's too horrific for her. And then we were just like, we can't leave her. And it was pretty traumatic for her, but now she's fine. So it was the best decision we made to bring
The
her.
best decision, yeah.
And I guess that was the first thing we did, really, was we booked her in because she had to have a lot of tests. And then we did everything backwards from there, wasn't it?
Mhm.
The cat got the plane ticket before us.
And all this time that you're planning on moving back to New Zealand, Marta coming home to New Zealand with Nic, were you excited? I know everything with COVID and your mum, and maybe excited isn't the right word. Were you looking forward to it, or was it, could you, some people just say, once I made the decision to move to New Zealand, I couldn't stand living in England any longer. It was one of those things. Was it like that for you, or were you just, you seem really easygoing people. So was it just, oh, if it happens, or was it to the point where you just think, we just need to get out of London now, get our cat and just get back to New Zealand? Can you just talk to me about how it felt?
Having that time, 2 years, it was very good for me and for my mum. Because the person I had to tell, it's my mum. And I'm the only person she's got. She's the only closest family I've got. My dad passed away 10 years ago and my brother passed away 20 years ago. And we are very close. For 20 years, almost 20 years that I lived in London, I've been visiting home 4 times a year.
Right.
We spend a lot of Christmases, Easters, holidays, free of us. So I was looking forward. I was scared. I was going through different emotions. But once we had that plane ticket, I knew I'm going. So I started saying my goodbyes and doing things for last time. So last time going to Poland, last time having a trip with my mom, and so on, all those last times. And it was like going through, saying goodbyes really mindfully.
Yeah.
And we wanted to live without regrets. And that helped that we were doing so much in London. We visited so much in Europe during those 19 years that actually on the last day, we didn't have any regrets. Oh, we should have done that. Oh, we should have seen that. We didn't.
We had a list of things we wanted to see before we left, didn't we?
Yeah. And we were just ticking it off.
We had a lot of lists.
A lot of lists. Actually, it was funny. Our mirror. So we had a big mirror above our fireplace, and it was just covered in timeline and post-its. Yeah. What needs to happen each week, closing accounts, all of that. So we're not going, and then we were just taking it off. And closer to a date, it was almost empty and done.
Marta, what did you want from your life in New Zealand? What did you envisage your life in New Zealand to look like? Because to move to the other side of the world, even though Nic is your partner and she's Kiwi, but even to leave your mum and to leave Europe, what was it that was drawing you all that way, willing to sacrifice everything you're leaving? What was it that you were expecting and wanted from New Zealand?
Finding home. That's something I want to call home, where I want to create home and where I want to feel like I belong. Because London was always temporary, even in our house, which we owned, but we never brought really nice stuff because we knew it's not a permanent. At the same time, I always knew I'm not going to live in Poland. I love it, absolutely miss it. But I don't think I could live here. Especially Nic wouldn't be able. It's just too difficult, too complicated, and it's just, and dangerous, actually, at the moment. Okay. So I wanted to, belong. And actually, what attracted me to it is not many people get this opportunity in life where middle age, they can absolutely draw the line and start life from the beginning. No one knows who you are. No one knows what you've done. You just starting you building new identity. And I wanted for me to figure out, what do I want to do in life generally?
That's a beautiful answer. That is so gorgeous. Real from your heart.
Not straightforward though.
No, but that's what makes it so lovely.
Well.
You did explain it perfectly. You explained it so well.
So just with the Poland, did you ever at any time think that you'd live in Poland? Or was it just a definite no?
Definitely not. Not with Nic, but also without Nic I don't think after 20 years living in London, I would be able to find myself just work-wise, possibly mentality in the long term. I just wouldn't fit in. And actually, I'm not sure if my mom would like me to be there.
Yeah.
And that was another thing. Saying to my mom, I know she does remember that when I told her how I told her, there is no limits to mother's love because she wanted me to be safe. And she knew that New Zealand is a better option.
Yeah.
Your mum sounds like a lovely person. Yeah. So Nic, knowing this little firecracker you've got beside you, just full of these heartfelt, how she wants to find home, knowing that you're going back home to your New Zealand, did you think that this was going to be possible for her? Did you think in your mind, yep, she's going to come to New Zealand and we're going to make it? Was there any doubt that you thought, no, obviously, if you did think that, you might not want to say it on now. But how did you feel? I just want to know how you felt about all this.
Yeah, I think I knew we could make it happen. And yeah, I was excited we never really had a lot of family in the UK. So I think that was a big thing for us, was to come back here and have cousins and my sister and dad, to have that whānau that we didn't necessarily have in the UK. That was exciting. And we did try to come here without any expectations. So I think we failed on that.
But we said to each other, no expectations, carte blanche, empty page. And we keep reminding to ourselves, no expectations. Yeah, and we failed.
I think it's difficult not to have expectations. We thought we arrived without them, but after being here for a while, we realized we did have expectations of how it would look and how it would be.
So when you say expectations, do you mean how your life was going to look, or how you remembered the country being 20 years earlier?
How it would look, how it would be now. Yeah.
So take us back to when you first got back to New Zealand, came home to New Zealand, because I know that Marta, when we spoke earlier, was saying about when you first came back, you were both on the same page, because obviously you've been living in London, living this completely different life. You are in Auckland now, aren't you? You live in Auckland.
Yeah.
So at least you didn't come back to somewhere like Bennydale or somewhere really rural that would have just been a massive shock for you.
That was great.
I know Bennydale's
Step too far.
So you came back to Auckland. Just what did that look like? Let's talk about the...
No, actually, we came back to Tauranga because that's where my family are. Okay. And we did that. We couldn't live there. It's very quiet. It's different from London. And we made a few trips to Auckland, and it wasn't... I remember clearly going to just a suburb in Auckland, and I was like, this feels like home because it's bigger. A suburb was almost felt almost like the size of Tauranga City. So yeah, that was difficult to say to my family there, actually, we're going to live in Auckland, but it just felt bigger and
easier to digest.
Yes, a place that we could be more successful in Auckland because the population rather than Tauranga, which is quite small. So, yeah, we started there and we stayed with Dad from October because we traveled a little bit on our way here, and both started our jobs in January.
Okay, what were your
So
jobs?
still the job I've got now, teaching, and that was coming up for interviews and going back, and that was quite stressful trying to find somewhere to live. Marta was already working. Marta got a job before I did.
I got a job, so I started work as a area manager for Nando's.
Oh, yeah.
And I started in December.
So I think with the day we moved into this place, Marta was in Australia training. So me and the cat moved in. Yeah, so that was quite stressful, flat hunting and looking for, we haven't flatted in 20 years. We had a house, like all of that was new. We weren't accepted for so many places we applied for for rental tenants. I don't know why. I guess we didn't have any landlord references because we owned the house. So that was quite tricky to even find somewhere where they'd take us because we had no track record at all in New Zealand of having a bank account,
we didn't exist it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there was all of that side of it was quite tricky. Yeah. Getting that. I remember being turned down for quite a few flats because they said, "Who are your referees?" Well, we don't have a landlord. We don't have a reference. Yeah.
So once you leave Tauranga, you move up to Auckland, you eventually rent a flat, or did you buy one in the end?
No, we're still renting. We're in the same place. Yeah.
Have you still got your place back in the UK?
Yes.
Yeah.
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 Was that on purpose? Or
we don't want to sell it. We think it's a good investment to have there. And
we're trying to hold on to it as much as possible.
Yeah.
That's a good idea. That's a really good idea, I think. If you ever need a house sitter, me and Brian, very reliable.
And do you just rent it out over there and get someone to look after it?
Yeah.
So here you are now, living in Auckland. You've both got jobs. How long is it before you start to feel, Nic, that you're settled, that you're thinking, I like it. I'm glad we came back?
It was a long time because teaching here is completely different from teaching in the UK. I don't know the curriculum. I haven't taught here in 20 years. So it was really hard to get a job because I have no experience of the New Zealand curriculum. It's so different here. So everything was like jaw-dropping and so different from what I'm used to. I'd say the first year at that job, I hated it. I didn't have friends there. I didn't love it. I definitely didn't love it. I've found my niche there now, so I'm much happier, but it's, really different. I felt like I was starting my career all over again.
That's really interesting because some people that we talk to say, they come over and the teaching is a breath of fresh air. They say after teaching in the UK, coming here is like a breath of fresh air. So it's interesting to say.
It's way less work here, but I guess I've just been indoctrinated into the way of thinking with safeguarding, and I wasn't really teaching over there. I had a leadership position, so I've had to go back into the classroom here, which was a massive difference for me. I couldn't get any leadership jobs because I didn't have that experience of teaching in New Zealand. So I had to take a step back to get a job here. It is easier, but it's very different.
What was it that made your jaw drop?
I guess just some of the safeguarding things, like it's so relaxed here. Everything's no worries, whereas in the UK you'd have to do a risk assessment and a lot of red tape to jump through. So I think it's better here, perhaps in the long run, but it was so different. Everything, I was just like, oh my God, like it's so different in the UK. It is very relaxed here.
And I remember when it started, she was every day, she said, you won't believe, but over here, and the story.
And I've never taught that. So I hadn't been in the classroom for a long time, and I've never ever taught intermediate age kids. So they're a completely different kettle of fish as well. They're older, they're prepubescent, and
Bit naughty.
Yeah, they can be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So before we talk about Marta's experience here, I just want to say, you said something earlier and you said that we were supposed to come over without expectations, but we failed at that. What expectations did you have and how did you fail with those expectations?
I think I had a lot of expectations that I would slot back in to my family and I would slot back in with my friends. And everyone's got their own life. And that my family here have had 20 years without me, and they've done things their way, and they've got their own little routine and little system. And then I'm back and I have to slot into that. I have been away for a long time and things have carried on without me being there. And the same with my friends. They've got kids, they've got their own life, and it's difficult to fit into their social life and to be, it's different than it was when I left. I guess just that way socially and the family. What other expectations? We thought it would be a lot cheaper.
Yeah.
And it's not.
Definitely, I think work for you was that, they will take me with my experience in London as a leader.
Yeah.
It's going to be easy. But actually, at the end, I got a job first, and Nic really was turned down by the many.
Yeah, and that was applying for leadership jobs. I was really lucky with the job I got because I'm not actually teaching in the classroom. I'm doing smaller groups. So that was a godsend. Yeah, it was a challenge, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. And also many people told us when we started job hunting, it's not what you know, it's who you know. Because New Zealand is so small. And I think it's with education, it's even smaller. And you can't say, oh, I worked in that school doing this and this, and I know this and this person. It's,
Because they all know.
Yeah, there is
and we didn't know anyone.
No.
And I guess that's to your advantage, but we didn't have those networks and we didn't have those connections because 20 years is a long time to be out of your country. And everything was so different because I guess we'd become quite English. We'd lived in London and
we were quite snobby about it. When we think about it now,
I can hear that.
Central London as center of the world. This is what we've done. This is who we are. No, it doesn't work like here. And that teaches you to be humble and actually step down. And I think for Nic, it was a big lesson. Okay, so I have to step down in my own country where I pay a lot of money to study. So that was a big thing to swallow.
Just going back to where you said it's more expensive here. I can't think of a more expensive place to live than London. But you're saying that it's more expensive here, or is it wages don't match to vice versa?
Food. I remember the first time we went to Pack and Save in Tauranga, and it was October, and I wanted to buy some garlic, and it was something like $27 a kilogram. I took a photo. I was like, "Oh my God!"
What is it with garlic? What are you saying?
You could get it's 48 down here in the Naki.
That was a real shock, eh?
Yeah, and in London, you're just getting for £1 in the market.
Yeah.
Yeah, garlic has gone a bit silly, hasn't it? But yeah.
Do you know what's nice is it's seasonal though, and I think we could just in London you can eat whatever you want whenever you want.
In Europe, you could whole year eat whatever you like for the same price. You don't know what it's in the season. You don't have to think about it. But here is definitely seasonal. Which is a positive.
Exactly. I was just going to say, on a positive, once you get over the fact that you can't get avocados that aren't rock hard, you can only get them in certain months. Once you get over that fact, then you start appreciating it, don't you? Because the avocado season, bliss. It's just, I just want
really
to
nice.
just go back and again, Marta, I'm just so glad that you said that about being snobby, because I wouldn't have used the word snobby, but I knew what you were meaning, because I remember when we used to go traveling, when we lived in Newquay in Cornwall, and we'd go traveling, we'd go and work in like ski resorts for the winter, and we'd come back thinking we were all it. We would just walk down the streets of Newquay and we were like, is anyone going to ask us where we've been? Because we've done this and we've done that, and no one cared. And it was just like, they're just jealous. How rude. It was just, we just had this whole thing going on. So I completely and utterly know where you're coming from when you say that, because you've, like I said earlier, you've lived the life. You're there. You're it. So you're living in London, in the centre of London, in your own property with your cat. So that doesn't get any cooler than that. And yeah, I totally understand how you must have felt coming to New Zealand, and then it's almost like you just deflate, don't you? It's just like you've got to come down to everyone else's level. So I really can hear that. I love that, the way you said that. So Marta, let's go over to you now. How are you feeling about all this? Because I take it that Nic, the longer the job went on, you were getting a little bit more settled and things, but how are you feeling?
It depends on the day. Now, how am I feeling now? So first year and a half was much easier because it was all new, because we finally made it. I got a job. We have a nice place. Our cat she forgotten what we've done to her, putting on a plane and all that trauma. So it was good that she's all happy and settled. So it was much, much easier. After that year and a half, I really started to feel, oh, okay. Because when we lived in London, living in Europe, everything is so accessible. You just, for an Easter or a long weekend, you just go to Rome for a normal price. So we were traveling like 2-3 times a year. This is what we've done. And here, actually, there was nothing to look forward. We're not going on holidays. It's too expensive. It's too far. So I had to get used to, actually, we have to start exploring more of New Zealand. But I also started to feel that homesick, so missing those seasons. Very often I have to ask Nic, is it summer yet? Is it spring yet? So are we in the winter now, or is it autumn? Because it doesn't feel like a seasonal.
And we brought all of our big winter London coats, and Marta had them all hanging up. She said, when am I going to get to wear these?
I don't think I will.
No, it's not cold enough.
And so I get a lot of those waves of, it's all the time between being in a grief stage. I'm grieving, oh, I can't go and see my mom whenever I feel like it. I can't go for Christmas at the moment. I'm grieving all those stuff that I would do. For example, if I would be in Poland, it's mainly Poland that I'm grieving. London, I think sometimes when I see a post of my friends in Facebook or being at Waterloo Bridge and doing something, for example. Yeah, so I'm grieving now. But also there are moments when I feel so grateful for where I am. Yesterday, I was just driving and it was such a beautiful day, and you're driving down the coast and it's peaceful, it's green, it's clean. So it's mix. It's mix.
What about you, Nic? Are you settled now? Are you happy?
Yeah, I think we were talking about it the other day, how many cool things there are about being here. It's just so clean and so fresh, and it's not busy. Yeah, I do feel settled. Yeah.
So you can see yourself staying then, or have you not?
Yeah, we've just got to decide where. But yes, yeah, we are feeling more settled. Now we've made a few decisions.
I think for me, what will help when we will find home, because now we are in a house, but that's not home. So we have to find our home. Yeah. What I need is to find my tribe, my place, and start belonging into community. This is what I need to feel better. And also, and purposely, when we first arrived, Nic's sister, for example, or cousin was suggesting, oh, is there a Polish community in Auckland? So you can, and I purposefully said, no, I don't want to be one of those people who are coming to a different country and straight away looking for people similar to you. I wanted to fit in to Kiwi community. But after a year and a half, I felt, okay, now it's a time to make some connections with the Polish people. Yeah, just to meet once in a month or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, I suppose it's like being British and you come to see, you find expats, but at first you don't really want to be with them as such because you want to meet the people. But I suppose you must miss speaking your language as well.
The only person speaking Polish is my mom when I speak to her, but I brought ridiculous amount of books in Polish. So I read in Polish, and every day I'm grateful to A, internet, and B, Steve Jobs for inventing iPhone and iPad, where I can watch Polish YouTubes and podcasts.
Yeah.
And Nic needs to cope with that there is a Polish around most of the times.
Nic, I've never had the opportunity to ask a Kiwi this, but when you were living in England as a Kiwi, did you did you have Kiwi friends over there, or did you only have English friends?
No, I think we made that choice. London's so multicultural, and I didn't even really come across Kiwi teachers. So my friends were mainly English. Actually, they were all English. Just met them through work.
Australians.
Yeah, I met a few pretty cool Australians that were coming over to the UK to teach, but I don't think I ever came across Kiwi teachers, which is strange. We didn't live in the Shepherd's Bush area, which is where all the Kiwis are from. We were over in southeast London. But same as Marta, I didn't want to travel across the world and hang out with Kiwis. I wanted to experience English people and English culture. So that was a conscious decision way back. Yeah.
I've always wanted to know that. I'm like, I wonder if it works the same the other way. Because Kiwis are always, you always try and, like you say, you get these little groups of English and they're all hanging around together. And I always think, yeah, I bet you'd do the same if you went to England. But you'd be all surrounded yourself.
There's a big proportion of Kiwis. I met an Aussie girl that I worked with, and her husband was Kiwi. He would be the only New Zealander, apart from my brother, that I knew over there. Yeah.
Do you know what, Marta? I think you're incredibly brave. And I want to, the reason I say you're brave is because it's so easy to come onto something like this and go, oh yeah, it's wonderful. Oh, I love it. It's brilliant. And don't get me wrong, I bet you have days that you feel like that. But I think it's so important to be honest and let people know how you're feeling, because what you've just done is the massive thing. It's huge. You've left your mum, you've come to the other side of the world, you've just left everything you've known over in Europe over there, and you've come over here, and it's still early days for you. We always think that when we come over, everything's just going to be fantastic. Like then, ta-da, I'm here. Where's my brilliant life? Show it to me. But it isn't like that, is it? It's so not like that. And I'm really glad that you're bringing light to that, because that will help other people who are also feeling like you, because believe me, they will be feeling like you too.
Yeah, and I remember when I really felt that, it's not also amazing. I couldn't talk to my mom because I didn't want her to feel that, because that would be harder for her. Yeah. Because I had it in my head, she wants to know that I'm really happy and settled.
I know you don't want to, and also you don't want to worry them, do you? You just want them to think you're okay. Yeah. And I think it's like we were saying earlier, it's this, when you're getting ready to do something like this, like, where are we going to live and what jobs should we get? And we'll move the cat over and we've got to do that. And we've got our mirror with all our Post-it stamps on it. We've got all this go. And then you get here and still it's, oh yeah, look at all this, look at that. And oh, hello family. And then life is life just suddenly drops into place and everyone just gets on with what they're doing. and you're left
Yeah.
thinking, oh, okay, oh, well, I'll get on with it then. But it's like being reborn, isn't it? It's just, you've got to learn it
Yeah.
all again.
And
Starting from scratch, you are building your existence, your identity. And the easy part is opening bank account, RID, security, all of that is easy. Takes a long time. But actually, you don't know anyone. You don't have any history with anyone here. And for me, it was really important to get to know people, to get to know Kiwis, what they like, start to fitting in. And also one of my fears was before we came over here is that are they going to understand me with my accent? Because in London, there was a lot of Polish people, and especially in London, everyone's got an accent. Everyone's got a different accent. So that was easy work-wise. But here I was coming, I didn't feel very confident I would get a job because of my accent, for example, or that people will be able to understand. And also I was worried that I won't be able to understand a proper Kiwis because, yeah, Nic didn't have her accent, but yeah, but it's all fine.
It's all good.
It's all good.
Just talk to me about, because I just want to look at the positive side of what's happening with you. You've quit your job, haven't you?
Yes, I did after 2 years. And that's, so it did grow in me. I knew when we first here, I don't want to do what I was keep doing, especially if you think about, I've got another 20 years or so. What do I want to do with the rest of my working career? And I'm in transition from my previous life to a new life, which I'm not exactly sure what is it. I'm retraining as a yoga teacher. So I want to change completely and I want to do something meaningful. I want to help people. Ideally, I would like to work for a nonprofit. I want to do some voluntary work as well as a mentoring youth. And yeah, and my dream would be to have build my own community around yoga and meditation and mindfulness. And so that's why I'm not really calling it having my studio, just have my own community of like-minded people.
Yeah. So you've left Nando's working as an area manager. And anyway, back in London, you were working for your coffee company as an area manager. So you were doing that full on. And then you come over here, you work for Nando's for 2 years. And then you decide that you're going to finish that job because you want to invest in yourself, because you're transitioning into the next part of the next 20 years of your life is going to look completely different to the last 20 years. And what a brave thing to do. And what is a gift. It's an absolute gift, because most people just slog and keep going and get to the end of their life and just think, oh shit, oh, that was a waste, wasn't it? Wasn't really that happy. So the fact that you have given this some thought and you've been brave enough to go, do you know what? The world needs me as a, like you say, a community builder, as a youth worker, as a meditation teacher, yoga teacher. You're going to be absolutely amazing, by the way. Would you have been able to do that in London? Would you have been able to just think, no, I'm quitting my job and I'm just going to sit here and I'm just going to transition while I work on this? Would you have been able to do that?
Oh yeah, everyone would ask me, transition, what do you mean by yoga and meditation? No. And that's inspiration from New Zealand. First of all, wherever I go, my first question is there a yoga studio that I can join? That's my kind of on the top list. So when we first arrived to Auckland, I find my community with my yoga studio, studios, there are a few. And that was inspiration of those teachers and a community. But also I feel like in New Zealand, I have space to breathe and think. And it just, and nature and people and a culture inspire you and encourage you to do different things and think about different things completely from a new angle. And also I feel like in New Zealand, people have the mindset of everything is possible. And there is no such a thing as silly or trying. and people are not going to judge you. And there is not much of rushness, competition, being the best, having more, buying more, hoarding more. There is not all of that. So even if you don't want to, in London, you are joining that crowd of, okay, so this is how we live. This is how the normal life looks like. No.
So there you
I
go.
think that was our when we first came here. We were looking to buy a fridge, and I found a new fridge, but it was fairly cheap. And then I looked at the packaging. The postage was like $3,000. So I must have looked on Amazon or something. I was like, what? And that was a massive thing for us. We had Amazon Prime, and you could order stuff in the morning and it would be there in the afternoon. And we got here and we were like, sorry,
3 months? How long that's going to take? Hold on a minute.
yeah, there's no Amazon. It was
building
a massive shock for us.
Yeah.
And yeah, so we had to convert from Amazon to Marketplace, which is way better.
Cheaper as well.
Way better.
Yeah.
It's cheaper and it's better for planet, and you can make connections with people.
Yeah, and I think that sticks in our heads. Like we were consumers and we would just order something and it comes that day. That's crazy. We're getting our groceries delivered. So I think that was a big adjustment for us, and realizing actually there isn't everything here, but that's cool. There isn't so much of mass consumerism and everyone's getting stuff on Amazon, and I remember those big November, what were they, Black Friday sales where everyone would just order and buy, and I'd be at work and people would be just ordering, and that doesn't exist here, and that's really nice not to have Amazon, and it's just a bit more laid back and you get what you get. You have to go to a shop to get it. Yeah.
Tess, my daughter, said to me on Friday, I think Mum needs to go out and do some retail therapy. I said, so where are you going to go? And she said, we're just going to go around the chazzy shops. As in the Salvation Army. It just made me laugh. She's just come back from Wellington as well. But it was just like, there's such a range of secondhand shops here. It's just, there you go. That's New Zealand.
Nothing better, is
Saturday
there?
morning.
Yeah.
What more could you do?
Nic, it must make you feel very happy inside, because I know that you'll be worrying about Marta because you're over here and she hasn't been settled, and it must make you happy inside to see this woman transforming the way she is, because even just talking to you on this call, I can see that where you are heading with this. Like you're coming through and we can see where you're going, and that must make you feel very happy, Nic, to know that she's able to have that space to become who she wants to be.
Yeah, and I knew that job. We both knew that the job in London wasn't good for Marta, and fell back into it here. And I could just see she wasn't happy doing it. And it's not why we came here, to be carrying on and to be just making ourselves sick and just working. And and I could sympathize because I know what it's like to be homesick, and I experienced that a lot when I was living in the UK, and I just used to miss sitting on the beach. I'd miss that. So I understand. I guess I can sympathize a lot more because I experienced that for a long time. Yeah, but it is nice for Marta to have that opportunity and just to be somebody different and somebody happy. And she's so compassionate and kind that I think that is her calling, and it's nice to have that opportunity to be able to do it.
It absolutely oozes out of you, Marta. It really does. This is what you were born to do, honestly. And I just want to say to you as well about your accent, when you were saying about your accent, when we went to Thailand for a month, a few months back, and I was just like, just lost mum, and I was doing loads of meditation and just finding like just what worked for me. And there was this lady, and she was Thai, but her accent, it was just when she spoke, it was just like someone just putting like gold blankets all over me and smoothing it down. It was just, and your accent is the same. So you are going to succeed hugely and soothe so many people with your beautiful voice, your lovely accent. And so what a gift. Yeah, what a gift. And I am so glad that Nic brought you back here. I really am. I know she can't remember standing on the step and you saying we're going back to New Zealand, but I'm just so glad. I'm so glad, because this is where you two need to be. It really is. It really is.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Do you think maybe when you've decompressed from London living a little bit longer, you might even think about moving from Auckland and going even deeper into New Zealand to get to those seasons down in the south or something like that, or just those things?
Yeah, that's exactly. Auckland is very expensive to buy property here, so we think we'll end up in Christchurch.
Nice.
But we also, like I said, we both need community and our tribe, and we don't necessarily feel Auckland is place for us. We were thinking about Wellington. We really both like Wellington. We feel, that's us. That's us. The only thing about Wellington is too windy. It's no, honestly, I spent quite a lot of time in Wellington with work for the past 2 years, and I just felt so unsettled when it was really windy. Really, it does affect me if I would have it for a very long time. And I don't think our cat would like it as well. That's another thing.
Oh,
she wouldn't
definitely
like
don't go
windy.
No.
She would not like.
We have actually quite friends who we know from London. She's Australian and he's Kiwi. And they moved back to New Zealand 10 years ago. So
yeah, they moved back just before the borders were shut. They just got in, and they've been toing and froing between London and New Zealand, so they were really lucky.
And they live in Littleton.
Right.
And we both really like Littleton, and it does have a nice community feel. So we see ourselves either way in Littleton or in Christchurch. And also Christchurch is more seasonal. It's closer to the mountains, and I miss snow, and it will be nice to ski. And that feels a little bit, we went to Queenstown, and that feels more like home for me.
Yeah.
Right.
Definitely, this direction.
And I did my degree in Christchurch, so that was a long time ago, but I did enjoy living there. So it's not foreign to me. It is a long way from my family is the only thing, but it's not as far as London.
No, that'd be a nice compromise, wouldn't it? I can see you down the south. I really can.
But a lot of our community members love Dunedin, and they are like the Dunners crew down there.
Christchurch as well.
Christchurch is great.
Yeah.
Just Dunedin's got that little bit of architecture as well, which is nice.
But the great thing about Christchurch is, like you say, you're near the mountains. You're right down there. All those great cities, Dunedin, Queenstown. I just love it down there. It's just a great part of New Zealand. So
and seasonal.
Yeah, and the seasons. Yeah, it's lovely. So I think you're going to enjoy it. Yeah.
And you got the surf and the snow, which is cool.
Yeah.
And it's still a big city, so we still have that big city feel, which I think we need.
Yeah. You'll find it.
I think they've got Amazon Prime in Christchurch.
Oh. Before we let you go then, I know it's probably a little bit too early, Marta. You're nearly there, I can see. But do you think this is the place where you're going to find home?
As this chapter is New Zealand and it's still writing itself, I'm going to try the best I can. But we don't know. We don't know. We don't know. I would never think I'm going to live in New Zealand, so I don't know.
Yeah, just see how it goes.
Every day, a day at a time.
Yeah. And Nic, I know you didn't tell me this, but I happen to know this, but I believe that you are a writer and you're writing a book. So
I'm trying,
yeah. So maybe a trip down to Christchurch is it'll give you that inspiration to write and finish your book and just delve into all that creativity side and that would be really wonderful to see that as well.
Yeah, it'd be cool. It's just time, eh?
Yes.
Finding time.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
You two, thank you so much for coming on and sharing your story. It's been absolutely wonderful. And I think you're the first, we've had a Kiwi guy and his wife, but you're the first woman Kiwi to come back to and live in New Zealand.
Yes.
So-
First in something.
Yeah, there you go. And so it's been really lovely just to hear your story. And Marta, thank you so much for being so open and transparent about your feelings, because like I say, that it's just, it helps so many people when we see we're not the only ones that struggle. And yeah, I think there should be a thing put on every new visa. Please be aware you will not feel settled until after 2 years.
Yeah.
Yes, you know,
Minimum 18 months.
Yeah.
But really 2 years.
Yeah. So thanks for sharing that with me.
Yeah, Marta, to hear that you said Steve Jobs' iPad, that's great. I love that. And I would buy an app if you did one for yoga. So there you go.
Thank you.
Oh. And we'd read your book.
Yes.
We're definitely going to read your book, Nic.
Yeah, definitely, Nic.
No pressure.
Yeah, not at all. Finish tomorrow. Yeah.
Marta and Nic, thank you so much for joining us. We wish you all the love and happiness in the future, and catch up with you again, maybe in a year's time, and let's see what New Zealand has brought for you.
See where you are.
Definitely. Thank you.
Cool.
Thank you so
Yeah,
much.
thank you.
Okay, bye.
Bye-bye. Bye.
Thank you so much for joining us on the podcast this week. We have loved having you here with us.
If you love this week's show, please share this with your friends. Send it to anybody you know that wants to think about moving to New Zealand, and get on over here yourself.
And tell them how brilliant it is as well. And also, if you haven't signed up for our free 5-day video guide showing you what life is really like in New Zealand, then go over to the website and sign up. You are missing out. This is brilliant. Go over to www.nzahead/free and we will send you 5 days worth of videos about what life is like in New Zealand. You are going to love it. So one more time, that website that you need to sign up for the free 5-day guide is www.nzahead/free. So we're going to see you next week. Until then, have a great week and we'll speak to you soon. Bye.
Bye.
Say bye, girl. Bye.
Bye.